Got off the stage. I'm in my second live interview right here in the GlobalPro booth. I got an amazing guest with me today. I want to bring Manny. Manny, thank you.
No, thank
Appreciate
you for having
Pozo.
me. It's great. It's a great setup here.
So tell us about BioResponse.
Okay, BioResponse is rescue. It's a water, fire, and mold restoration business. We also do asbestos. I've been in business 18 years and really been part of this community here for 18 years doing everything, including biohazard, which is where our name came from initially.
Well, before we go any further, we have to introduce the other guest.
Yes, this is Rescue Rob, and you can't see him from this distance, but his right-hand man is Rocket, which is a Dalmatian. He was born out of our company culture and our brand, which is deeply rooted in the first responders. My partner's a hazmat firefighter, and again, we started with biohazard. So, you know, we usually are walking into buildings when everybody else is walking out.
Right.
And again, it's very similar to the first responders.
Well, we know that your company was certainly on the front lines after Hurricane Ian. Mm-hmm. I'm sure you and your team have experienced prior hurricane seasons and prior hurricane events. Mm-hmm. How was Hurricane Ian different?
Water. Flooding, I should say. This one was probably the largest flooding event that I've seen due to a hurricane. The amount of water that came in on the storm surge was tremendous. Especially, you know, and all the pictures where the videos and the pictures and everything else we were watching was really from above and seeing the overall damage. But what they didn't really show, and I worked on a couple projects with you down in Naples that had so much storm surge, and that those homes were completely gutted, needed to be gutted.
Totally,
so I think I saw more of that, but there was also obviously the wind component as well. So it was really very devastating in terms of storm as well as wind. Yeah,
you had, you know, in this southern area like Naples area, huge focus on flood, right? But that was a massive storm with a wind field that was hundreds of miles wide, and just dramatically impacted and devastated a community. I mean, you just saw an amazing outreach, though. I mean, what it did to Sanibel, Captiva, the Barrier Islands. I mean, totally decimated it, which is not unusual for a major event, but the sheer size of that storm.
I was getting calls from Orlando.
Wow.
While I'm already mobilized in Cape Coral at that moment, I'm getting calls from Orlando saying, hey, I have a major flood event. It was a multifamily property that I work with that that wasn't even on their radar. They knew they would have some issues, but did not expect the level of damage that they got in Orlando. So back to your point, it was massive. And
remember, there was Nicole right behind Ian, right? Now, it's a little lesser discussed and talked to. I mean, the one beauty of doing a live show from the floor of an Expo
you got a hype man back there like Nelly.
You got some you got some characters in this place. And the LBA is full of characters.
Nobody started drinking yet. So
not yet. You know, it's funny is that, like, part of what we are doing today is we're going to be serving a drink.
Yes.
We can't serve that drink until 12 o'clock.
12 o'clock. Okay, great.
Yes.
It's 12 o'clock somewhere.
So speaking of hurricane, exactly. And that's exactly what so many of us have said to our host today. But they're like, no, we know our crowd. Let's wait until then. And we're going to be serving a hurricane drink, so how fitting for our conversation.
I'll definitely have some of that.
A little dark and stormy with a little bit twist to it. So you got to enjoy that. Well, the future of what's going on now, one of the things I talked about, let me say it this way, one of the things I just talked about up on stage was the legislation overhauls that we saw from last year, right? How did the AOB, the assignment of benefits, which was targeting the bad actors, and if I could say anything today, definitely not your company, but there were some that were obviously opportunistic when it came to
without a doubt.
And I tried to explain to people that a lot of that opportunistic vibe or feeling you got from the way in which some of the contractors are handling stuff was largely due to the fact that I can't tell you how many times I see mitigation companies submit their mitigation bills and the insurance company just slash the prices. No rhyme or reason. They claim it's an audit. They're not auditing crap, and they're using the same software you're using. So how did the AOB laws, the assignment of benefit laws, how do you believe that they've changed how you operate or how your competitors operate?
Well, so how I operate obviously changed completely. It's much different when I can finance a project for a homeowner and for the insurance company, which is essentially what we were doing, was financing these jobs. And now I can't because I don't have the legal recourse if I had to protect our business in the event that they don't pay, period. Not even negotiate, but not pay.
Correct.
And we were already used to these long payment periods, right? We knew that it would be 6 months to a year in many cases. And it's funny because, as you know, the law is at 90 days is when you can litigate. We wouldn't hear from the insurance company. This is before when the ALBs were active and available. They wouldn't even call us for 90 days. They wouldn't even suggest our bill. And at that point, we're the bad guys because we're litigating, because we're forced to litigate when they haven't even spoken to us.
Think about it. I mean, like, as a business owner to a business owner, and for those business owners out there that are tuning and listening to this, think about the fact that your expectation is not to get paid $1 for 90 days. 90 days. 90 days to issue coverage determination. That's typically what it is, and then when they issue the payment. 90 days. That's an enormous. People talk about net 30.
Yeah. Yeah. I know. I laugh.
And when they're like 45 days out, they're like, they want to threaten people with collections. 90 days. Yeah. 90 days. And people are upset over contractors wanting to litigate. Particularly, by the way, in that 90 days, we talk about what I just made, which they just slashed the bill. You're all using Xactimate, RS means, Craftsman, Marshall. So you're using industry accepted standards to estimate these things, and they're still finding ways to cut, to mitigate. You're following IRCRC standards. You're doing certain things in a certain way. And I'm hearing from well-respected mitigation contractors such as yourself that are like, and they're still cutting my bill.
Yeah, absolutely. If it were up to me from the get-go, I would have been doing time and material.
It's
easy,
T&M.
it's quick. Yeah, it's easy, it's quick, it makes sense.
But the funny part is, Manny, like some of the contractors I talk to that have those little deals with the insurance companies, almost all their stuff's done at T&M.
Yeah, I know. And then they wanted us to use Xactimate. We do use Xactimate, and they're still cutting our, and that's why when you asked earlier, what is, like, how does it change? It completely changes it. Because now I am providing an estimate ahead of time. I have to know their coverage. As you know, there's these $3,000 caps, $10,000 caps, if they have coverage at all. And at that point, when we estimate what our estimate is, compared to what they have, we're going to ask for money up front.
Right.
Whether it's a credit card. I have now, first time in 18 years, this year, I just started offering finance, right, through a bank.
Yeah.
So now, just like anybody
what
going
an
to
advantage.
a roofer, anyone going to a roofer, anyone, like any of these other services that they would have to apply for credit to be able to complete their job, that's exactly what we're doing. I've just got my second client on that. And this is insurance clients, right? So if you talk about now what the insurance actually wanted in these bills, right? They wanted to go after bad actors. That's what they said, right? That's one of the things. Now the homeowners are the ones coming out of pocket for this stuff, right? To be able to have their home to where it was. In other words, now the banks are taking up the part. I was the one taking it up before the finance arm. Now the banks are stepping in, and then the homeowner will owe that. And if they get reimbursed, that's what they're hoping for.
Right.
So it's completely changed the landscape, not just for the businesses, but more importantly, for the homeowners.
That's incredible information. And for those that haven't already figured out, we are live from the Latin Bill Association floor. How do we find out more information about BioResponse?
Yes, obviously you've got the World Wide Web, bioresponsecorp.com. You can call me personally as well, Manny Pozo at 786-252-5207. Obviously all our Instagram handles. I've got on LinkedIn, Rescue Rob has his own. and people call us, it's funny, people call, they ask for Rescue Rob, and they're like, hey, can I speak to Rescue Rob? And now my employees know that essentially means me. But yes, Rescue Rob, if you want to talk to him, just go ahead and give those numbers a call.
I love it, man. I love a good marketing strategy, and especially when you gotta dive in, you gotta own it, even if others think it's ridiculous or whatever else, or they don't, or maybe they. I love the haters. You got to love your haters. You got to enjoy it because your haters help promote you in many different ways.
Absolutely.
I tell that to business owners all the time. So always consider it. Well, Manny, Pozo, BioResponse,
thank you, buddy.
Latin Bill Association, thank you so much.
Thanks for everything you do for the
We're going to keep on doing this all Expo long. So go check out. Where's your booth at?
It's on the other side over there. I don't know the numbers, but it's on the other side.
I don't know my number either. Don't worry about it.
You'll find it.
Well, go check it out on the other side of that dump truck over there. They got so many cool cool ass equipment in here too.
Yeah,
They got like,
I know. And next year I want to bring my van in here as well, bring some of our equipment and all that stuff. So for sure.
You got it. All right. Well, that's all we got right now. But continue to tune in live right here at the Latin Builders Association Expo.
Great. Do I get free tennis shoes with this for this?
Yes, part of the marketing strategy. We give it all to all of our trusted vendors. Yes. Thank you.